Hi guys, welcome back to another math lesson. This one is for lesson 29, session 2, and I'm on page 605. Also, there's a Harry Potter movie marathon on TV right now, and I am skipping it to record this for you guys, so that's how much I love you. And I wanted to show you guys. I brought some, pens and pencils and stuff home for recording these lessons for you guys, and my cat got a hold of this one. I thought you guys would like it. He attacked it. Real nice of him. But anyway, all right, getting started. So 3 reads problem here on the top. It is a challenging one, okay? And we're working just with problems about length today. So here we go. Cindy buys a party sandwich that is 5 feet long. Her brother cuts off a piece of the sandwich that is 3/4 of a foot long. Cindy cuts the remaining sandwich into 3-inch pieces to share with guests. How many 3-inch pieces does she make? Okay, a 5-foot long sandwich is like as tall as me, almost. I'm 5'3"-ish. That's crazy. So like it's super long, like on the bottom, like the sub sandwiches that feed like a whole party of people. So that's what we're picturing. And the one she gets for her party is 5 feet long. But then her brother cuts off a piece first. So he takes a piece that is 3/4 of a foot long. And then the remaining bit, so whatever's left over after he cuts off his part, she cuts into 3-inch pieces. And we want to figure out how many 3-inch pieces can she cut from the rest of the sandwich. Okay? So first thing we know, my little hint right here. So sometimes they give us this, sometimes they don't. I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. So I want to convert what I can into inches first, okay? I think I'm zoomed in enough, a little more. Okay, so 5 feet long. So let's convert that first. So the sandwich is 5 feet equals how many inches? Okay, so if 1 foot is 12 inches, 5 feet times 12 will give me how many inches that is. So 5 times 12. If you need to do it on the side, you can, or 12 is a math fact number. We should know that fluently. And if you don't, hope you're practicing it while you're at home now. So 5 times 12 is 60. So the sandwich is 60 inches long. Okay, so I'm just gonna label my stuff so I keep it all organized. Sandwich. So that's how long it is to start, okay? But then her brother cuts off a piece that is 3/4 of a foot long. So we have to figure out how much is 3/4 of a foot. Okay, so that's kind of tricky. What we want to do is find an equivalent fraction. So think back a few lessons. Equivalent fraction with a denominator of 12 because there are 12 inches in a foot. Okay, so remember, how did we get from 4 to 12? I don't know if you guys remember the chant that we were doing before. To find equivalent fractions, multiply or divide the numerator and denominator by the same number. So denominator, what did I multiply by from 4 to get 12? And that would be times 3. So then the numerator, I also have to multiply by the same number, so times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. So 3/4 of a foot equals 9/12 of a foot. And if 1 whole foot is 12 inches, 9/12 of a foot would be 9 inches. So the part that her brother cut off is 9 inches long. So we have to figure out what's left over for the remaining party guests, okay? So I'm gonna take my 60 inches, the starter sandwich, what it was in the beginning, minus 9 inches that her brother cut off, and that is 51 inches left. Okay, but that's not what they're asking me. I'm not done yet. I still have another step. So she wants to cut this 51 inches of the sandwich into 3-inch pieces. So if she has a sandwich that is still 51 inches, she wants to cut it into little 3-inch sections. Okay, so how many pieces can she make with this 51 inches? To do that, we take the 51 inches and divide it by 3 inches. And that will give me how many pieces I can make. Okay, so I don't know this off the top of my head. 3 times what equals 51, or 51 divided by 3? I don't know that just, quickly. So I'm going to do an area model. Little division area model. So 51 on the inside, dividend, divisor. All right, so thinking back to how we did this, how many groups of 3 can I take out of 51? So I look at just the 5 first. So I can take out one group, but there's this one that I didn't use, so I make that a 0 up top. So it's 10 groups of 3 that I'm going to be taking out of the 51. And 10 times 3 is 30. I didn't make my box very large, so if I subtract, I have 21 left over. So I need to move 21 up to the top. And how many groups of 3 are in 21? I know 7 times 3 is 21. So I subtract, no remainder. Close my box, add my partial quotients on the top. 10 plus 7 is 17. Okay, so that's showing my work for this part. So 17 3-inch pieces. So I'm just going to say 17 pieces of sandwich. So that's how many little mini 3-inch sandwiches that she can give to all her guests. So her brother ate 9 inches and everybody else only gets 3 inches. Her brother's a pig. Just kidding. Okay, moving on. Give yourself a star. And turn the page. All right, so this is the page where they go in detail and explain every little bit of the problem. So here's the problem again. And they did a bar model to show their work too. So here's the full sandwich that's 5 feet. This is the amount cut off of it that her brother took. And this is the amount that they need to cut into 3-inch pieces. And we figured out, I'm not going to draw all of them, but they could make 17 pieces. So let's pretend that was 17. Okay, or you could also do a number line to figure it out. So here's 0 all the way to 5 feet. So that's how long the sandwich was. That was the part cut off, that 3/4 of the sandwich that her brother took, and the amount remaining. So we have some questions on the side. Connect it questions. Number 1, how are the bar model and the number lines similar? So they're talking about this bar model, this number line. How are they alike? Oh, and it also says, how are they different? Okay, so you can pause, think of some ways they are similar, think of some ways they are different. There we go. And write them in a couple sentences here. Or if you want to just make a bulleted little list. Similar, different. You can just list some ways, okay? So after you do that part, unpause, come back with us. I'm not going to write them out. Number 2, what part of a foot does each tick mark on the number line model stand for? So it means each little tick mark right there. So if I just look at that section, it's hard to cover up just that section. There, from 0 to 1 is what I'm looking at. So how many jumps, if I'm just on the tick marks, will I do from 0 to 1 foot? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's cut into fourths. So one space is going to be 1/4. Okay. So what part of a foot does each tick mark represent? 1/4 of a foot. And how many inches does each tick mark stand for? So 1/4 of a foot, how many inches is that? So we could do the same thing, find an equivalent fraction with 12 as your denominator. So how did I get from 4 to 12? I multiplied by 3, so you do the same with the numerator. 1 times 3 is 3. So that's my inches. How many inches does each tick mark stand for? 3 inches. If you look at a ruler, if you've got a ruler at home or a tape measure, look at 1 foot on your tape measure. 1/4 of it is going to be 3 inches. You can do 4 3-inch sections to get to a foot. So here's 0 inches, 3, 6, 9, and 12. Okay. Couldn't see my whole ruler. There we go. Use the number line to find the length of the sandwich that's left in feet. Oh, in feet, we found it in inches. That's tricky. So in inches, we knew it was 51 inches left, but they want us to look at the number line and figure out what's left in feet. So, okay, here's my number line, and this is the amount that's left. I kind of colored all over the 1 foot area, but that's okay. So looking right here, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 feet, plus another 1/4. Remember, each jump, each tick mark is going to be 1/4. So it's 4 feet plus that 1/4. So 4 1/4 feet. 4 1/4 feet. Okay, and then how many 3-inch pieces are there in the remaining sandwich? So this was our answer from before. 17 pieces. That's the answer we found on our page. 17 pieces in the remaining sandwich. Explain. Let's see. How can we explain this? And if you want to explain it differently than I do, you know you're always free to do that. There are 17 3-inch sections between 0 feet and 4 1/4 feet. Or you could explain how we did the 51 inches divided by 3. That would be great too. All right, number 5. Explain how a number line helps you see both inches and fractional parts of a foot at the same time. So, they're asking, back to our number line, how does the number line help you see full feet, but also fractional parts, so parts of a foot also? So I would say you can see that like the bigger tick marks, they're slightly longer and they're labeled as full feet, whole numbers. You can see those very easily. But the tick marks show the fractional parts of a foot. So not a full foot right here, just a fractional part of one. So you can easily see both at the same time. Okay. So you can explain that, or rewind a little bit and try and write it down as I was saying it. And then number 6, this is our reflect question. Which models or strategies do you like best for solving these types of problems about length? So you could explain what you did on this page is your favorite strategy, kind of just equations, taking it step by step, or maybe the bar model makes the most sense for you, or the number line. So write down what your favorite strategy is and explain why it's your favorite. And then unpause and turn the page. Okay, number 7, centered. Lulu has 10 feet of ribbon. Lulu is a nickname for my dog, Luna. She has like 1,000 nicknames. We don't actually ever call her Luna. Lulu has 10 feet of ribbon. She uses 1 1/3 feet of ribbon for a project. She uses the rest of the ribbon to make bows. She uses 8 inches of ribbon for each bow. How many bows does Lulu make? Show your work. Okay, so if you want to do a bar model or a number line like they did for the other problem, like one of these, in this space to show your work, you can. So if that was your favorite strategy that you just wrote down on the reflect question, definitely do that, okay? I prefer just kind of writing down the steps and my equations and showing my work that way. So you do you. So 10 feet of ribbon. First, I need to convert that into inches. 10 feet equals how many inches? So I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. So that would be 10 times 12. And I know my tens. So it's 120 inches. Okay, and then she uses 1 1/3 feet of the ribbon for a project first. Okay, so I need to convert that into inches as well. So 1 1/3 feet equals how many inches? So I need to do that in steps. So I know this 1 foot is 12 inches. But I need to figure out what the 1/3 foot is. Okay, so 1/3, and I'm going to find an equivalent fraction with 12 as my denominator to convert it to inches. So how did I get from 3 to 12? I multiplied by 4. So you do the same with your numerator. 1 times 4 is 4. So 1/3 of a foot equals 4 inches. So I'm going to do the 12 inches, that is the 1 foot, and 1/3 of a foot equals 4 inches. So I'm adding those together. So 12 plus those 4 inches, 12 inches plus 4 inches equals 16 inches. Okay, so that's how much she uses for a project first. So I have to do 120 minus that 16 to figure out how much is left for her to make her bows. So 120 minus 16. And if you think you know it from here, since I've started for you, you can pause it and try and solve the rest of the problem on your own. That would be awesome. I cannot do 0 minus 6, so I have to regroup. 10 minus 6 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 drops down. So she has 104 inches left to make bows. But each bow is 8 inches of ribbon. So I have to do 104 inches divided by 8 inches to figure out how many bows she can make. And again, don't know that one fluently. I don't know my 8s that high, so I'm going to take my dividend and my divisor and do an area model. Again, I don't think I made it big enough. Okay, so I know 8 cannot go into 1, so I look at the 10. 8 can go into 10 one time. There's one number I didn't use, so that's a 10, or a 0. So what that means is I can take 10 groups of 8 out of 104 to start. So 10 times 8 is 80. Taking away those 10 groups of 8, 4 minus 0 is 4, 10 minus 8 is 2. That's not my remainder, I have to keep going, so I bring my 24 over there. How many groups of 8 can I take out of 24? I know 8 times 3 is 24, so I subtract that 3 groups of 8, 0 left over. I keep making them too short, but too long. Okay, so I'm going to add my partial quotients up at the top. 10 plus 3 is 13. So how many bows does Lulu make? That would be 13 bows. Lulu can make 13 bows. All right, give yourself a star if you showed your work. Give yourself another star for 13 in your answer with the sentence. All right, next problem, number 8. Okay, Raquel and Bernie drive a total of 1,836 kilometers in 4 days. They drive 630 kilometers on the first day. They drive an equal number of kilometers of the remaining distance on each of the next 3 days. How many kilometers do they drive on each of these 3 days? Okay, so that sounds like a lot of information, sounds really complicated, but I think it's actually going to be easier than this one, okay? So we don't have to convert anything because they give it to us in kilometers. They drive a total of 1,836 miles in 4 days. They drive 630 kilometers on the first day, and then the rest of the days is an equal distance. So what that means is there's 4 days, 1,836 on this day, and then the other 3 days, it's the same number of miles each day. So same number, same number, same number. Okay, so what we want to do is take our starting number, our total miles, 1,836, and subtract that 630 to take away the first day's miles, okay? So that's what I'm doing first, so I'm going to put that in parentheses. Whatever we're left with, I'm dividing by 3 for the 3 days left over, or the 3 remaining days. And that'll tell me how many miles they drove on each of the days. Not all 3 together, because whatever I subtract and my difference is, that's the total of the next 3 days. Then I divide it by 3 to figure out what each day is, okay? So you can pause it here. I've helped you with the equation. Pause it and try and solve it, and then come back and check it and see if you got the right number. Okay, so if I work through this, let's say equals m for miles. I'm going to do the subtraction first because it's in parentheses. Have some space right here. 1,836 minus 630. 6 minus 0 is 6. 3 minus 3 is 0. 18 minus 6 is 12. Okay, so after the first day, they had 1,206 miles to drive, divided by 3. Because I'm just dropping down that divided by 3, right? Equals m. They didn't give you guys a lot of space to solve this one. If you need to do it on scratch paper somewhere else, go for it. So again, I need to divide. I'm going to do an area model over here and hopefully make it slightly longer. Okay. Dividend, divisor. Here we go. 3 can't go into 1, but it can go into 12. 2 numbers left over. 3 into 12. 4 times 2 numbers left over. 400. So that means I can take out 400 groups of 3 from this 1,206. 400 times 3. I cover up the zeros. 4 times 3 is 12. 2 zeros left over. I subtract. I'm just left with 6. Okay, so I can't leave that. I can keep going. That's not my remainder, even though it's a pretty small number. 6 goes up here. How many groups of 3 go into 6? I know that 2 times 3 is 6. No remainder. Add my partial quotients. 402 kilometers. I almost said miles. Oh, I labeled it miles. I'll say my variables km for kilometers. Okay, so solution 402 kilometers each day. Barely enough space. Okay, give yourself a star for showing your work and a star for your sentence. One more problem on this page. Tom and Paul enter the long jump contest at field day. Tom jumps a distance of 2 yards, 9 inches. Paul jumps a distance of 4 yards. How many inches farther does Paul jump than Tom? All right, so the hint that they didn't give you is that 1 yard equals how many inches? We want to convert everything to inches this time because they gave us yards and inches, and this one's just yards. So we're going to convert both the distances to inches and then compare them. So 1 yard equals 3 feet. 3 feet equals 36 inches. Okay, so there's your helpful hint. Okay, so let's convert both of those into inches then. 2 yards, 9 inches equals 2 yards would be double that, right? Because 1 yard is 36, so 2 yards is double that. So 2 times 36. Can you hear my stomach growling? It is lunchtime. Okay, that's the 2 yards plus the 9 inches. Don't have to convert that to inches, it's already in inches. Plus 9 inches. Okay, so this step first. 2 times 36. I'm going to do it on the side real quick. 36 times 2. 12. That 3 is really 30. 30 times 2 is 60. 72 plus 9 plus 9. Okay, 9 plus 2 is 11. 1 plus 7 is 8. So, Tom jumps 81 inches. Just going to label it Tom. Okay. Next, I need to convert Paul's jump, which is 4 yards, into how many inches that would be. So 4 times 36. Okay, and I need to do that on the side also. I'll do it over here. 36 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. That 3 is really 30. 30 times 4 is 120. 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 drops down. So, what's his name? Paul jumps 144 inches. Okay, I'm not done. It asks, how many inches farther does Paul jump than Tom? So, how many inches more is this than this? To do that, I have to subtract. But I am very much out of room. So, scratch paper. 144 minus 81. 4 minus 1 is 3. 14 minus 8 is 6. So the difference is 63 inches. So that means Paul jumps 63 inches more than Tom, which is going to be my sentence. Paul jumps 63 inches farther than Tom, period. Okay, star, star. Do you guys miss counting your stars at the end of math lessons? Because I do. All right, practice page. The longest lesson ever. All right. Okay, if you want to go ahead and look through the example problem, see what they did here, that would be wonderful, but we don't need it for number 1, so I'm going to continue working. All right, Nestor, interesting name. Nestor needs 750 centimeters of rope. Rope comes in lengths of 4.5 meters and 9 meters at the hardware store. Which length of rope should Nestor buy? Remember, 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So first we have to convert. So 4.5 meters equals how many centimeters? So the 4, just by itself, is going to be 400 centimeters, right? Because 4 times 100 is 400. But then there's that half of a meter. So what's half of 100? Be 50. So here's 400, here's 50. 400 plus 50 is 450. Okay, and 9 meters, that one, there's no half or anything, it's just 9 meters to centimeters. 9 times 100 is 900. Okay, so which length is greater than 750 centimeters? Remember, that's how much he needs. He needs 750. So, which one of these is more than 750? That one. 900 centimeters is more than 750 centimeters. Which rope length should he buy? If he needs this much. If he buys 450, he's not going to have enough. So he should definitely buy a length of, oh, that's tricky. I almost wrote 900. Look, they say meters now. 9-meter rope, not 900 meters. I almost wrote 900 because I was thinking it was centimeters again, so it's just 9. Good catch, Mrs. Flitton. All right. Let's see. Star, 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 star. Number 2. Which length is greater? Half a meter or 240 centimeters? Okay, so half a meter. So 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. Same hint as right there. Just gonna say cm for centimeters. So half a meter. It's half of 100. 50 centimeters. Okay, and then that's that one. So which is greater? Half a meter or 240? Well, half a meter is 50 centimeters. So they're saying which is bigger? 50 centimeters compared to 240 centimeters. Well, pretty clearly 240 is way bigger than 50. So 240 centimeters is the greater length. Okay, it does say explain, but I feel like that's probably explanation enough. So give yourself a star. And next page. Okay. Centered. A football problem. Well, that's pretty sad because there's no sports on TV anymore. That's okay. We'll do a math problem. It'll make us feel so much better about no sports. Okay. That looks like George, but it's Jorge because it's Spanish. The J makes an H sound. Jorge carries a football forward 5 2/3 yards on one play. He carries the football backward 1 foot on the next play. How far forward is the ball in feet from the place where Jorge started to carry the ball? Show your work. Remember, 1 yard equals 3 feet. All right, so we have to decide from the starting point, how far forward did the ball go? So first he went forward this 5 2/3 yards in one play. On the next play, he went backward 1 foot. So we're trying to figure out what is this distance right there from where he started to where he ended the second play. Okay, so we're going to convert both of these into feet first. Well, that one's obviously still just a foot. So we're going to convert the first play into feet. So 5 2/3 yards equals how many feet? All right, so this 5 yards, I need to multiply by 3 to figure out how many feet that is. Just the 5 yards. I'll deal with the 2/3 yards in a second. So that equals 15 feet. The 2/3 of a yard, I need to, let's see, how do I want to do that? I want to get it to, oh, I don't have to convert that. I was going to find an equivalent fraction, but it's already perfect, okay? Because if it's 2/3 of a yard, there are 3 feet in a yard, so it's already feet, right? That's confusing. Okay, I would want to convert it to a fraction with 3 as the denominator, but it's already 3 as a denominator. So the numerator is just how many feet that is. So 2/3 of a yard is just 2 feet. because that's my numerator, and my denominator is already 3, which is what I was going to convert to. So 5 yards equals 15 feet. 2/3 of a yard equals 2 feet. So I have to add both of those together to figure out how many total feet his first play was. So his first play was 17 feet, because I add those together. Okay, but now I need to take away because he went backwards, so I'm subtracting 1 foot. So 17 feet in the first play minus 1 foot on the next play equals 16 feet. Okay, so how far forward is the ball? The ball is 16 feet forward. Okay, star, star. Okay, number 4. Marion is 3.5 feet tall. Highlighter. She is 4 inches taller than her brother Elijah. She is 1 1/4 feet shorter than her sister Lori. Okay, I'm just going to highlight the entire problem apparently. How tall are Elijah and Lori in inches? Show your work. Tricky. Okay. So we don't know her sibling's height. We know how tall she is. We need to figure out theirs. So I'm going to convert her height into inches first, because she's 3.5 feet tall. I need to figure out how many inches that is. So I'm going to label it Marion first. She is 3.5 feet, and I need to figure out how many inches that would be. Okay, so the 3 feet times 12 inches equals 36 inches, but then this half a foot. Half a foot is 6 inches. So I need to add those together to figure out Marion's total height in inches. So 36 plus 6 is 42 inches. So that's how tall Marion is. Now she is 4 inches taller than her brother. So she's taller, so hers is going to be more. So I need to subtract 4 inches for her brother. So 42 minus 4, because she's 4 inches taller. Okay, so on the side, if you need to stack and add that, you can, or count backwards from 42 minus 4. So that equals 38. So Elijah is 38 inches tall. Okay, now I need to figure out Lori's height. Let's see, Marion is 1 1/4 feet shorter than her sister Lori. So I know Marion's height in inches. I need to figure out this 1 1/4 feet shorter in inches. So I know how many inches to subtract, no, to add, because she's shorter. So I'm adding them to figure out Lori's height. Okay, so 1 1/4 feet equals how many inches to add to Marion's height to figure out her taller sister's height. So 1 foot equals 12 inches. What about this 1/4 of a foot? So that is one that I need to find an equivalent fraction with 12 as the denominator. So 4 to 12 I times by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So it's 3 inches plus 12 inches. So 1 1/4 feet equals 15 inches. That's not how tall Lori is. That would be like the height of this book. So 15 inches is how many inches shorter Marion is than Lori. So Lori is going to be 42 inches, Marion's height, plus 15 inches. Okay, 42 plus 15. 2 plus 5 is 7. 4 plus 1 is 5. So Lori is 57 inches tall. That's a tricky problem. And very last one for this lesson. Yay! Number 5. Tracy needs 31.5 or 31.5 meters of wood for a porch railing. So she needs this many meters. She has 3 pieces of wood that are each 8 meters long and one piece that is 7 meters. So she has 3 pieces that are 8 meters long each and one piece that is 7 meters long. Does she have enough wood for the porch railing? Okay, so we're going to ignore what she needs right now. We're going to figure out how much she has. So she has 3 pieces that are 8 meters long. 3 times 8 equals 24 meters. So that's the 3 pieces. But she also has one piece that's 7 meters long. I'm not going to do 1 times 7 because I know that's 7. So I'm going to take the 24 meters that she has from the 3 pieces plus this one piece that is 7 meters long and figure out how much total she has. So she has 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. She has 31 meters of wood. Does she have enough? No, because she needs 31 and a half, right? So 31 is less than 31.5. No, she doesn't. All right, star, star. I forgot stars on the one before. Star for Elijah, star for Lori, star for showing your work. Okay, that's it for today's lesson. I'm gonna go eat lunch and watch Harry Potter. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Bye.